So how are we? We have Jack and Jono.
Yeah, yeah.
Ali. Nice to meet you
Nice to
guys.
meet you.
Likewise. So, yeah, you guys have got your EP that's finally come out. You must be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, the album just under a month now on
Yeah.
the this is coming out. So it's cool. It's we released an album last year and it was cool to be able to follow it up with something again, sort of like
Yeah,
and keep the ball rolling.
for sure. For sure. So you guys been around since you joined in, was it 2017 or 18, around about then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2017.
2017, yeah. And so until now, it's been really some time, and you've released your first full length album. Tell me what happened in between. Fill in the gaps, I guess.
I guess we kind of started like straight out of high school. So we kind of
True.
grew up, young adults into our older adulthood, I suppose, where we're all 27, 28 now. So and we've been able to do a lot of stuff with this band, especially I guess coming out of COVID.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
we would like pretty relentlessly, and we've gotten to see parts of the world that the 18-year-old, 19-year-old versions of us when we were first starting out, first dreaming of doing. So it's been cool that we've been able to ride this wave together and write music that we love and sort of tour it around the world and explore and experience life through the lens of this 5-man project.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you
I
guys
think when we
go, go on.
started like our first EP, I think we didn't like even really expect like a large audience or anything like that. It was just kind of like we put it out because we just liked making music and stuff together.
Yeah.
And then I think actually through the second, because our first EP came out in 2018, was it
Yeah,
2018?
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we released a single in 2019, which kind of like took off algorithmically. Like
Right.
Spotify really loved Cold. So then
Yeah.
after that, we are like, oh, well, let's make we put a lot more concerted effort into making the next EP after that. Like we worked with the same producer as a single and like
Yeah.
really tried to craft it together. And then from then it just kind of like grew.
And was that the intention when, I guess, with bands these days, it's not so much about, putting an album out, getting sales and, the punters, it's all about the algorithm and, those online platforms. Was it something that had thought put in, was it intentional, or was it just one of those magical
I
moments,
don't
so to
I
speak?
don't think it at least at least with Cold and 2019, I don't think we reached expectation. Like I
Yeah,
think it was almost by luck. And I think I wouldn't say that like, we don't put any thought towards the algorithm and we just make art because we just want to make art. I think I'd be kind of lying if I said that was
yeah,
that. But I think for the most part, we really put a lot of emphasis on the bigger picture and the
for sure.
concept story that we're trying to tell. And then it's more so once we have the thing that we've created together, it becomes a little bit of a game with, how are we going to roll it out and how
Yeah,
into it. But I wouldn't say that that's something that's kind of at the heart of what we do. We're by no means sort of writing to try and, go viral or
yeah. I guess like in
nice when
that
it
point,
happens.
it
Yeah.
was kind of like the cross of when it really started to become a conscious thing that musicians and artists were mindful of,
Yeah.
which approach they were going to take. So you guys sort of
Yeah.
were birthed amongst
Yeah. We
the fuckery of all that, so to speak.
Yeah.
and I think from seeing the impact that it can have if you release music strategically and you play your cards right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Mm.
there's a
But we
formula to it.
yeah. Yeah, we were blessed by the algorithm before we even thought to play for the algorithm. So I
And I
guess
think
we've
it just
always
comes
just
with
kind of
age, you guys being
yeah.
younger too, because I just
Yeah.
know personally, like I've put some posts out with pages and some that, get, your average amount of hits. And then I was collaborating with someone who is of that younger age, and it had like thousands of like views and like moments, and I'm just like, that's just nothing different, nothing spectacular. It was just the demographic, I guess, that was viewing someone else's stuff, and it just happens, I guess, depending on where you sit in the on the
Sure.
scale of using social media and that stuff. Yeah, but absolutely. So you guys were done a couple of. You said you've been touring the world and things like that, which is incredible experience. And get to do what you love. It's not even really a job when it's like that. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, played some pretty big sold out shows and supporting some pretty big artists like Polaris and Name One. And yeah, so how was that? Was that
I mean,
expected?
it's cool. I mean, last year we did 60 or 55 last year, and this year we're doing 84. So it's getting
Wow.
to in 2 weeks we leave for we're in Europe for a bit, then we're in America, and we don't get home till Christmas Eve. So it has
Right.
been really to be able to tour, and it's cool to obviously have music to go alongside that. And um it is, we are very fortunate to be in a position when we've been doing that, and it's just been cool to see parts of the world with you know bands and even at this point friends, like
Yeah.
we're Hill and Ocean Grove, and we've toured with them at least domestically a handful of times. So it's
Yeah.
community, and being able to not only do stuff internally as a band, but with the friends that you make.
Was made. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And so you did good things in 2023, was it as well?
Yep.
And that was good to do on the home front.
Yeah,
And
for
you
sure.
guys have just come
Yeah.
off the back, I think, of an Australian, pretty much sold out Australian tour. How was
Yeah.
that compared to your fan base overseas? Is there the nice to have like a loyal fan base here in Australia, which had probably, I guess, grown up with you guys essentially.
Mm.
It's that'll be pretty special. And pretty, is that your first full Australian tour that you guys have done just recently?
We were on a support tour with Chelsea Grin and Currents earlier in the
Yeah,
year,
yeah, but
and then we
headlining, I
did
guess, is yourself.
headline. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we did. When was our last when was the Heaven's Gate headline? Was that in?
We did. We've done like historically we've done kind of smaller room headline shows,
true.
like sort of things. We did one in December last year with Heaven's Gate for a single that we'd put out at the time, but the headliner that we just wrapped up on was probably our first bigger swing, I suppose. Historically, underplays and small little dive bars, but for us this time around,
They're always good.
and we're kind of a band that we kind of announce things and then 3 weeks later they're there. We haven't really full marketing campaign, but at least for this time around we kind of were a little bit more proactive in planning it out. And we,
Yeah,
at least for Sydney, we did Oxford Art Factory, which is somewhere where both Jack, myself, and a bunch of others in the band, like we grew up going to that venue, seeing
yeah,
bands coming through. So that one was really cool. That was
that would
special.
be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
definitely like louder, way more engaged on the headliner last run than we've had for like maybe ever. Like it's like the phone lights come out and like everyone is super into it. Like people are stage diving and it's like like people at the back of the room all know all the words and stuff because
that's
which is
pretty
like
cool.
it's different to when we're supporting, like we supported Silverstein in Europe this year, and some of the
Yeah.
venues there were like gigantic, where we're just trying to win over a whole European crowd almost. But this
Essentially,
one,
you're
it's
warming them
like,
up to like the main act, and that's
yeah,
always a good thing. Everyone's
yeah,
like, it's super into it. It's good.
yeah. But it's definitely different playing to win people over than to
You are the main
like
act.
perform what they want. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like yeah,
It
And
becomes
so
surprising.
go on. Yep.
A bit surprising because like Jack was saying, like we've done so many support shows. We
Yeah.
are historically like either the opening band or we're second on the stage, and we don't headline all that often. So
Yeah.
when you do a headline and it's not an underplay and it's sort of an actual full size room with all the bells and whistles, it's shocking sometimes because
Feels surreal.
it's
Yeah.
kind of what we usually do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess, it's been the time that you guys have, when you started and where you're at now, you certainly earned your place, and, it got some pretty nice credits under your belt as well, which is
Appreciate it.
refreshing and very good to see. I guess too, like you know, at the moment there, or since, the start of Parkway, they really kicked things off for, hardcore, metalcore in Australia. And you guys have, massive, in bands like them, you have massive following overseas and particularly Europe and Japan. And I mean, they obviously Australian following as well, but it's massive. What do you think the difference is that makes it so much bigger in countries like that than, I guess, on your home soil?
I think for Europe, it's a combination of just how many markets and areas there are, and how the culture, especially like when you look at Germany, it's like
yeah,
It's dirty is not the right word, but it has
Yeah,
like
Germans love their grit.
yeah,
They like their
I
hardcore. Yeah.
think they're kind of drawn to
Mm,
the things in general, whether it's fashion, art,
true.
media. So I think it makes sense for a band like Parkway to, be able to. I mean, they posted a photo the other day of that headliner they're on right now, and it was like their biggest headline show, second
Yeah.
Australia. So it does make sense as to why heavier bands generally take off in Europe. Japan's also a fun one. We've
Yeah.
lined in Japan. We did earlier in this year, and we went there last year with Era as well. And I don't know why Japan is as sort of music driven as it is, but I think the people there who are going to these shows are really like energetic and really
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think that
Also, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
everyone that goes to those shows in Japan, like all of them feel like diehards. Like there's no like
Yeah.
speculators going to
True.
shows. Oh, I like at least we didn't see anyone will go in there. Like everyone was so into it.
yeah,
Like you don't get
Yeah.
the people like standing up like
Oh, what's
off
this
the
all
back.
about?
Yeah.
I guess too,
Yeah.
like, it's it's a trend as well, and something that's so quite different and probably removed from anything that had been before, and trying to, that generation of people trying to grasp onto something that is, uniquely theirs, and it's metalcore has kind of won the way, which is, great for. There's a lot of Australian groups that are really kicking and doing great things in Japan, and hip hop as well, which is another really odd thing. Like Japanese hip hop
yeah.
is it's from Western influence. It's pretty cool to see, actually. It's nice when
It just
genres
feels like
amalgamate.
it's like that underground culture that like
Yeah,
heavy music is celebrated more in Europe and in Japan more so than it is on an Australian scale. There seem to be more places, like more dive bars, more of
yeah,
like a community in that space. Whereas in Australia, probably because our cities are so spaced out and you
true.
know, there's not much in the way of all ages shows. People aren't getting in young these days
Mhm.
anymore.
That's true. That there are a lot of, they're mostly 18 plus, which is,
Yeah,
and you're getting that, I guess, that fan base following on, your platforms and streaming, like. And I mean, live music certainly is far from dead. I just come back last week, or the week, sorry, Sunday. I killed the prom queen, which was incredible. So I personally hadn't seen him before, thought it was amazing, and their support act that they had building up was and it's I kind of get it, even though it's not my personal choice, but I certainly have an appreciation for their fans that know all their words, and just being there with them from day dot, I guess.
for
And
sure.
you guys have definitely would be experiencing the same now, as I said, been some time since you kicked off and where you're at now. And yeah, just good. So with your new track, it's and then the new EP, which I had to listen to, and I have to say I was nicely surprised. It's got a, you know, your standard hardcore metal, and with a little the change of it with some more melodical stuff, which is was nice. Was nice. Always good to have that that contrast. So where the influences, like for that kind of, I guess, side of that, where do you draw your main influences from?
I guess there's kind of two pools that we draw from, and I think it's kind of evident in the album that there's the really heavier stuff, and then
Yeah.
there's the occasional song that kind of blends those two worlds. I think at this point in time on the heavier side, it spans like Boundaries, like Counterparts,
Yeah.
uh, really like intense production, really like big moments and grit.
Yeah,
And then,
sonically really huge,
yeah,
riffs and whatnot. Yeah.
and then on the softer side, it's more the softer side is probably more akin to what we listen to in our day to day as just music consumers, more
Yeah.
of like that alt rock.
That
Um,
surf rock, indie rock kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of bands like Movements. Obviously, we got Pat to feature on one of the songs, and when
Nice.
that was almost like it was written for him in mind to sing on, and I
Oh,
think that genre, that style, is probably more in line with what our listening habits are like, and it's been cool with
yeah,
Bloom to blend those two worlds together quite nicely, and
for
it's been
sure.
an evolution of the band. Like
And
we,
do you see that's where possibly your direction might in future you go down that path where you take your your core sound and where your basis and blend that into something that's it comes out with a hybrid sounding melodical palatable you I guess for doing those kind of things you really do widen your range listenership and open yourselves up to some pretty critical moments. Yeah.
Ourselves to a specific, like, we want to make 10 songs that are all like breakdowns. Like, it's just not something we want to write as people. And I also don't think our fans would appreciate a 10 song breakdown album. I think one of the things that we do really well is that wider spectrum of like encapsulating the parts of songs and like that softer, more melodic, emotional side as well.
For sure.
We kind of create an end product that blends all that together.
Yeah. Of course.
It's nice not to feel like pigeonholed in with like a certain direction, which is why like most of the times on our records there's like a really melodic soft song and also like a song that's like extra heavy or whatever. Like we try and expand it as much as we can.
For sure.
But it's also the genre itself is pretty versatile too. Like one of Jared's big inspirations is Lizzie McAlpine. So like melodic flavors from that get trickled in. And like I really like dream pop. So like some of that like 90s shoegazy noise thing kind of bleeds into it at some points. And then
I definitely got a bit of Queens of Stone Age and even Foo Fighters riffs. I'm just like one of the intros to your track, I'm just like, oh, hang on a minute. And I'm just like, oh, I think I've had this before. And it was a nice change.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, and so you said there's 5 of you guys in the band. So Jack, you're on drums, and Jono, you're the vocals, front man. So do you ever feel like you want to change sometimes and do someone else's gig or mix it up, or you guys are pretty happy in your lanes where you're at? It works well.
I love to play an instrument because it's something to do with my hands, but I do love the, for lack of a better term, swag that comes with being a frontman. It's funny you should ask, because we on one of our headlines late last year, we did a full band member swap instruments.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Jack,
like musical instruments, musical chairs.
We like all move to the left.
That's cool.
Back down the line, and we did one of our songs. Everyone played an instrument, and it was fun to be able to do something like that.
For sure. I guess like in sport, like your coach will make you, if you're a forward, they'll be like, no, you play this in the back, so you know how to take on your opposition, almost, so to speak. And it's always good to put yourself outside of that boundary. And so what did you end up playing? Jono, did you end up on the guitar or drums? And what about you, Jack? Did you end up frontman? Did you do full like rotate?
I played rhythm guitar and did backup vocals. Jono played bass.
Because that's all
I am. And the hardest thing to do in the world is play bass and sing. I'm telling you, it's like I do both. I sing and I play bass, but there's about 2 tracks so I can do both together because it's hard. So I salute you guys that can do that. It's definitely left brain, right brain. That mind just goes, no, not doing it. But it's that's good, and have fun with yourself too. That's the main thing. Is as long as you're having fun, then it's essentially not really a job, is it? It's not as hard work. And
keeping.
Yeah, you guys have got a pretty cool job, best job, one of the best jobs in the world. As I say, it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on sober, being on stage. Especially you got your own band singing back to your own tracks, like that's the top shelf. Your
it's unbelievable.
For sure. And so, what are the plans for the future? Anything, or just after you because you said you're going over to Europe shortly, and then back just before Christmas. So, what does 2026 look like for Bloom?
2026 will be we'll start the year with something of our own doing. It'll be cool to, like, the album will be out. The album comes out while we're
31st of October, I think, isn't it?
So we'll be starting off the year doing something of our own thing. And I think we're just kind of setting ourselves up for another sort of busy year. We're wrapping up this year with, I think I worked out, it's 44 shows over the span of 2.5 months.
A lot.
in Europe, and then we're in the UK, and then we're in America, and then we're in Canada.
Wow,
So,
that's
yeah,
jet setting. There must be back-to-back shows or to be, you
yeah.
know, that's pretty close.
There's
Not got much left at the end of the year, as
no.
it happens so quickly.
I will probably take a time to sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2026 will collect my head. That's what it sounds like to me. But yeah, no, for
get the
sure.
album
Because
out.
if you don't, you just burn out, and then it just becomes, you know, you feel like everyone wants a piece of you, and that you have to, you know, show up, and you can't, you know, set that boundary. And I think it's quite essential for you know, bands, and especially doing tours like, you know, like yourselves. It's really critical to get that, you know, that downtime and to
For sure.
refuel. And you see it happen all the time, you know, bands, or artists, they don't, and it just can be really their demise, or, you know, quite pivotal looking back at, you know, the time where, you know, shit got dark and it started to go down, and that's generally pushed beyond their limit. You know, at the end of the day, everyone wants a piece of you, but you're all human. You just like the rest of us, you know, in that sense, that you still need to be cared about and
Yeah.
protected in that sense. It's yeah. Yeah.
All right, Ali, we're just gonna have to wrap up in a
Yeah,
second.
and 20 minutes goes
I'll
pretty
just
quick.
start
Thank
thank
you
you.
guys for having a chat. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you, and congratulations on your new album, and good luck with your tour, and much
you.
love and big ups from us at the Heavy team.
Oh,
Thanks
We'll
so
see
much.
more. We want to
much.
see more of you guys next year. For sure.